First of all, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for asking me.
For those who don't know, Cheryl is currently a managing director and resident DJ at KA Radio. She's heralded as the voice of new music. I just at a glance, we cannot understand that much about you. However, as is the theme with these kind of interviews, it's critical. What we want to look at in this interview series is we want to understand best where you're coming from,
Okay.
and what has brought you to this point sitting before us today. The intent I have is to follow a natural progression, gaining insight as we travel chronologically through what you've experienced with music in your life.
Okay.
However, we may jump around here and there. However, in that theme, we might as well start at the beginning. Where were you born?
I was born in Irvine, Ayrshire Central Hospital, as
Yeah.
most people those days were.
Did you grow up there for a long time?
No, I come from Ayr. I
From Ayr.
stayed in Belmont originally.
Okay. Local girl.
Yes.
Very much so.
I was the youngest of four. I wouldn't say there was a lot of money about when I was young.
No, for sure.
No. It was,
Well, I mean, that was one of the things I was going to bring up. It's like, was it a small or a large family you came from? Obviously, 4 children. It's
well, it was big enough.
relatively large, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. What were your parents' occupations? Were they?
My mum worked in schools. She worked as a cleaner, and then she was in the kitchens.
Yep.
You know, serving food. My dad had various jobs, but what I remember him, he drove a mobile crane. You ever
Alright.
seen them?
Yeah,
big-
no, I've seen.
I think they go along about 5 miles an hour. Yeah, I wasn't the happiest of childhoods, to be fair.
No.
No, it was a bit rough.
Well, I can understand that. But so one of the most interesting things I've found is kind of where music first originates in someone's history. Kind of. So were you aware? Was music a thing in your life in early
Music's
life?
always been part of my life. For the earliest age, I remember running about singing what was ever in the charts at the time.
Yeah.
And always been told to shut up because I was rubbish.
Well, it's not often a reason to shut up, but yeah.
Yeah. I think I was influenced the early days by my 2 older sisters, and they were very much into pop.
Yep.
You know, what was in the charts at the time, and I look back and think, wow, I wasn't aware of anything out with that field. You know, as a young
Yeah.
child, I thought that was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I got much older, into my teens, that I realised there was a whole world of
Yeah.
better music out there than what was the charts.
You do tend to see, and speaking personally, you see from the natural progression of kind of a closed family unit when you're younger, into your peers when you get into your teens, stuff like that, and everything
Yeah.
expands. Obviously, were your parents interested in music at all? Were they?
Yes, they were, and they both. I remember very young getting taken to like family days at clubs and stuff, and they were around at the time, and they would always get up and sing. I suppose it was years before karaoke,
Yeah.
so there would be someone on an organ probably, and they would be singing. I think my mum more influenced me. She was into like Nat King Cole, people
Right,
like this,
yeah.
you know, the old crooners and stuff, and that kind of still stuck with me, to be fair. Though at the time I hated it, as
Yeah.
most kids. Oh, it's rubbish.
No, yeah. I mean,
You grow up to really
you look
appreciate.
back and you
yeah.
think it's been quite an important part.
Uh-huh.
Obviously you've mentioned it's kind of you're influenced by your sisters, but was music present in your household as much, or was there places to go to see live music or things like that, or was it?
Well, you're talking like primary school age and stuff. No, it just what I remember. My sister had my oldest sister, who was a wee bit older than me. She had a portable record player. She used to fold up and take around with her, and she had loads of albums and stuff in it. That always fascinated me, and it was kind of passed down the line as everything was. And I finally got it when I was maybe, I don't know, 13 or something. I loved it. It was so cool.
That was what I was going to move on to, is kind of what medium was the first music you heard played on? Because obviously today a lot of ours is either probably starting in CD for people my age, or people would say go straight to digital, nothing else nowadays. So
yeah, I don't know if it is that age thing, but there's nothing better than a bit of vinyl. There's that. Do you know at the beginning you put? I don't know if you've experienced it.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, you put the needle on and there's a just before it starts.
Well,
To digital age people think, oh, there's noise, but no, it was a prelude to something good's going to happen here.
Yeah, something about the experience of the
Yes.
whole thing as opposed to just listening to them for the sake of listening.
Well, I've now got like at the studio, we've got 180,000 tracks or something. But you know, it feels as if they've nothing. There's all there, the music's there, it's very crisp and clean. There's nothing to hold, there's nothing to... when you bought an LP, you'd maybe a double gatefold, and then there's this big disc you'd have to be careful with. And you felt as if you owned something. Now, MP3s, easy come, easy go, I think.
Do you think the value of that is in the fact that you have a physical copy, or do you think it's about the music?
It was it was a bit of both. When the artwork on an LP, the artwork was still there when it went to CD, but it was like tiny, this wee size. You maybe had it folding out, but LP, I mean, 12 inches, you know, it's like a book. Whoa, and some people, some good artists, excuse me, would have something to look at, something to read. I think it was a bit of both. You had something that was physically yours, and you know that there was an artist that took time to create this, that a musician had created this magic on this bit of plastic.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Part of the whole experience, for sure.
It was very much an experience in the past. I think young people today maybe are missing out on that.
I think so. There's been a certain resurgence recently. I don't know. Obviously, you may not be aware, but a lot of my peers, maybe it's the indication because of our education in those kind of ideas, but are making a resurgence to vinyl. But a lot of people value. Obviously, it's now they call it the digital deluxe version, the deluxe version, the whatever,
right?
The £100 version of something where you just happen to get a piece of vinyl with it, whether or not you have a record player or not is kind of another factor. But yeah, it's still important to some people for sure. Obviously, you mentioned music was an interest at an early point in your life. I was wondering, did music ever enter your education at all? At primary school, did you learn an instrument or?
I didn't know. I remember I was painfully shy as a child, and I remember getting taken up in secondary we all had to stand at the piano and do some scales, and they pick the best to go in the choir. I can always remember and regret now was go and sit down because I was so shy, and I always loved singing. Out with it, I'd walked in. I was one of those strange people. We walked down the stage singing, then stopped because I thought somebody was coming close. You know, sounds a bit crazy, but
well, I mean,
yeah,
it seems to be quite obviously. There's nothing to hide behind with a voice when you're in front of people doing it, so it's kind of there's a lot.
But I think it was back to home. It was always, oh, shut up, just screaming and you know, and it gets into your psyche. Like, oh, go, no,
maybe I shouldn't do this.
I shouldn't do this. So when I went to school and it was stand up and sing, I was like, no, and I wish I had now. So music classes in secondary school kind of passed me by. It wasn't until I left school that I started getting out clubs, and I was introduced to a whole world of music and rock music I'd never heard, or I wasn't aware of. Probably heard it, but I wasn't aware of. And I just kind of wow. And since then, I think I've been a voyage discovery. I always find new music wherever I go, and now obviously it's my job. Yeah,
well, best case scenario.
Yeah.
Obviously, you mentioned a couple of factors in there. One I'm quite interested in is the fact that obviously you mentioned live music particularly is a very big part of what you do now with obviously sourcing bands, finding bands. What was that like in your earlier life? Perhaps was there a time
I was more like a follower, if you like, going to gigs. Never ever thought I'd see a day when I was putting on gigs myself and finding new music. That just didn't enter my psyche on those days. But I loved music. I loved all kinds of music. I still do. When the world opened, it was like, wow, there's blues. Oh, there's rock. There's even I got like a good pop song. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a very well put together pop song. Sure. I think there's a bit of snobbery. A lot of people in that. Oh, it's pop. We're not going to touch it. But it's pop for a reason, because it's
designed to be appealing.
Yes. Yeah. So some of it is. Yeah.
And some of it is for sure. Yeah. I was a very important thing in my life, I know, speaking personally, is
Mhm.
certain people when you're growing up, whether it be teachers or in my case, music teachers, music tuition. Was there anyone that was there that influenced you heavily, do you think? Do you think it was your family? Obviously, you
In
mentioned your sisters.
yeah, in music, you mean?
Yeah.
Um, hmm. So yeah, my sisters influenced me, but I look back and think not in a good way,
Hmm?
because they were very much into what was number one in the charts.
Yeah.
Though back in the day, probably charts had more eclectic feel about it. Now, I reckon for the last 20 years, it's just been dreadful.
Hmm.
What's in the charts, to be honest, with a few gems here and there, but it's very overproduced, over manufactured. The bad end of pop,
Hmm.
where I grew up in the 80s, where you had a whole new wave after punk. You had people Elvis Costello and Eurythmics, whole gamut of people who were talented,
Yep.
and were in the charts as well. So I think about 86 it died for me.
Hmm.
Stock Aitken and Waterman came along and with a drum machine and Kylie Minogue.
Well, yeah, they're very good at what they do, but unfortunately, if you don't enjoy what they do, it's a bit of a
No,
problem.
no.
Yeah. So, obviously, it's kind of a bit of a contrast to today in terms of influences, where
Mhm.
we can kind of get influences from just about anywhere.
Yeah.
And there's so
Well,
many
then
thousands
it
of
was very
influences.
much what was presented to you,
Yeah.
and if you wanted to go out and find what was really happening behind that, it wasn't easy.
Hmm.
It wasn't easy at all.
No, for sure. I was obviously you touched a few minutes ago about your education when you left school. Well, I wonder when was that, and what stage had you reached when you left school?
I left school as soon as I could at 16.
Mm-hmm.
They were called O levels then. Very standard grades now, is it?
No, I'm familiar. Yeah,
Okay.
parents, yeah.
You could sit 8. I passed 8
Mm.
and left because school was, grown up wasn't happy. School wasn't happy. What can I say? I thought, I'm getting out of here.
Was that your decision? Do you think definitely all your decision?
Definitely I had to get out of school. I hated it. I was bullied pretty badly. I had a few friends out of school, but in school I felt very much alone. So I left. I left because the people I didn't like, well then I thought I've got to get away from these people. It wasn't too many years later I realised they all left at the same time. So the good people were left. You know, the serious students were left. I was, well, I'm not going to say I was intelligent, but I passed the 8 levels with very little effort on my part.
Yeah.
So I thought I should have run down hires. Always wanted to go to uni, and I left that for about 10 years after. I went to college. I'd done HND in computing, which was cool, but by that time I had a young family, and being skint student for 2 or 3 years with a young family wasn't fun. I did a lot of, I was kind of a bit of a geek and potted about with computers, so I had a kind of income there. I was offered a job at a company called CSC, and they work for British Aerospace, and they offered me a job, and after 3 years of being absolutely skint, I took it and didn't go on to get a degree, which I kind of think now I wish I had, but it was necessity at the time. I had to earn a wage.
Was that the plan at the time then, to move on from college into
Yes, I always wanted to go and get HND, and then would it be into third year after HND? So a wee while ago now.
There's an HND and HNC, and I can't remember which way around it is. But
well, it's HNC first. First
Right.
year was HNC, second year HND, and then that allows you to go into
into third year.
into third year. I think so, or maybe second year.
We've just had the same thing in the
Right.
commercial music course.
Yeah.
Our classes doubled in size.
I had looked at various unis and stuff, but when you got offered the job, I was like, wow. I'm quite good at IT. That's one of the reasons where I am now.
Yeah.
And I took it, and I was there for about 5 or 6 years. And while there, sounds a bit, I don't know. I used to be one of the people who'd go to a pub and sit and sing along with everything.
Yeah.
Go to karaoke nights and sit in the corner and sing. But I was always told, how bad you were. You're like, no, come up and sing. No. So one night it was quite quiet, and the guy doing it, they were having a competition. Come on, sing a song, and I was like, oh. And finally, he gave me it, sang a song, and the people knew. I wasn't busy, but the people there went, yay, well done. Looking back, I think they were just being kind. But that was me hooked. Give me another one. Oh, I love the buzz started then, and they put me through to the final. More like, oh, we've got a spare space put in, and I won it against all these people I thought were great singers. And then he offered me to work hosting karaoke. So that was 16 years ago now.
Wow.
And I don't know, the Natural Performer came out, and I wasn't hosting karaoke, I was performing. I was putting on a whole show, and it's kind of led to where I am today, to be fair.
No, that's fantastic. On that theme entirely, moving on to what you do now with K Radio, I'd be very interested to know how kind of K Radio came about. Obviously, you're a very large driving force behind it, and it's your baby, so to speak. But
that's used a lot, that term, my baby, and it is me, and I'm it. That would maybe sound a bit, because we've got between 30 and 50 people at any one time involved, but I was always conscious growing up, been told never to boast about things, so I felt uncomfortable about putting forward myself. So yes, I am good at that, but not so bad now. Way back about 12 years ago, I tried to get a couple of bands going and sing with bands, but wow, maybe I was too young and naive at the time, but trying to get 5 people together just to rehearse was... So I walked away from both, never got anywhere, never done a gig, but it always was in me, I want to sing my band. So I carried on doing these entertainment nights, I'd call them. And I joined an acting club in Sturton. Right. And while there, one of the women said, you'd sound great on the radio. Now, I don't think I've got a great voice. To me it sounds very... but I went, okay. And there's a local radio station called Bonnet FM in Sturton. Right. Don't know if you're aware of it. They used to broadcast every Christmas for a month, short-term licence. And after the first couple of weeks of really nervous, I kind of settled into it, and it took me from a night time slot to an afternoon slot. They then decided they would want to do it 24/7, so they looked into the whole internet thing. Yeah. But it was such a difference. They had their audience for their month at Christmas, which was Granny listened to Wee Johnny on the radio kind of thing. Yeah. But going to internet, they lost all their... In my view, they lost all the grannies. Like, computer, how do you work that? Yeah, yeah. I kind of fizzled out, but while I was there, I met a guy in Ayr, and he was a kind of computer geek. He said, I've got my own radio station, and we just fill about with it. We don't, his friends all around the world would do a show. So just as the Bonnet thing finished, that came in, so that kept me in the loop, if you like. I was doing it for home. Around that time, I was thinking, oh, this would be great to do all the time. Yeah. I was doing a gig in Kilmarnock, and it was very, very busy. And I said to the owner, yeah, that was a good night. I said, I hope so. I had an advert out on the local radio station. Right. And I was like, all right, how much did that cost you? And he said, £2,000 for 5 days. And something in my head went, because I'd already been thinking, I wonder how I could do, because I was doing it at home. I thought, maybe some friends and we could all just get together and have a radio station. And I just that's how much it cost. From there I went and researched to see how businesses advertised. And the cheapest I could find was a small business card size in the local press, which was about £200. Yeah. So I thought, how do small and medium businesses advertise? So I've put a price band, put my business plan together. That was early 2011, and I worked hard that summer. I was holding meetings in Kilmarnock because I didn't think it'd be appealing to anyone outside Kilmarnock. And even at that time, I wasn't really thinking new music. I was just, let's play music, any music. while I was doing the other radio shows, what you do when you first go on radio, I find, is everybody plays their favourites.
Yeah.
And it depends on how much taste you've got, but you'll do that for a certain amount of shows. Then you'll repeat it. Then I went, what now? I can't keep playing the same stuff, even though there was a lot of it. So I'd been reading about some gigs that was on Facebook, kept seeing the same places coming up, and I thought, I'm going to go. But nobody would come with me because they were all, don't like folk music. I said, I don't think it is. I think it's bands. And, oh no, it's guys in woolly jumpers and beards. So I finally went, I'm just going to go myself. Went in, and straight away everybody was so nice, and I had some amazing musicians. And I was like, why are these people not on my TV?
Yeah, where did this come from? Yeah.
Where did they come from? Where have they been? They weren't singing folk songs, and they weren't. It was stuff that should have been in the charts. Folk like Little Fire, Sean Kennedy.
Yeah.
Sean Kennedy blew me away, and now that's what, 2.5 years, and this stuff is now just starting to get some mainstream attention.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been listening to that for over 2 years now.
Yeah.
But that ignited me, and suddenly I was like, this is what I'm going to do in my radio show. I'm going to give these people a voice.
Yep.
And I'm not aware of anyone else doing it, radio-wise, because every day I knew was in the radio, we're just playing a bit of Thin Lizzy or Led Zeppelin or whatever it was, you know, U2. And I developed my whole Cheryl Scott radio show around new music, still playing an odd classic. And then I bought myself a wee Zoom recorder, don't know if you know them.
Yeah, no, I
They're
know.
like, not the most nice looking things, but very good, very high quality. And I would start interviewing people after the gigs, in usually in air.
Yep.
And I think they were like, oh, someone's wanting to interview me.
The press is turned up, yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And I was getting a kick out of it. They were getting a kick. And it kind of built. So I had something on my show called Dash. I actually started building my whole radio station around just my show. I was on air about 4 hours a day, and then at night time I put out the Ayrshire sessions, which are still about. I interviewed maybe over 20 people in that period. People like Tragic O'Hara, Jamie McGeechan.
Yeah.
I was also getting videoed by a local videographer, grapher, yeah, can you edit that bit?
The guy who does the videos.
Yeah. Yeah, talking's not my strong point. Don't know why I'm doing radio. And he videoed some. So a lot of students here at the time, and I had a collection of about 13 of them. During that time I was getting the whole radio thing going, and I was slowly getting a lot of interest from musicians in Kilmarnock, and 2 or 3 friends thought, look, let's do this. Then somebody said, do you want a studio? Which is something I hadn't thought about.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I was just going to, like, I have the link, I phone you up, I'm going to stop the link, you pick it up. And that's how I've done it with the other radio stations. Suddenly, a studio. So we get this old rehearsal studio in Kilmarnock, which with hindsight was a bit of a dungeon. That's what it's been kind of nicknamed, I find out now, the dungeon. But everybody loved it. It was no bigger than this room. And we split it in 2. And looking back, wow, we did that for up to December there, 2012, from a start in October 2011.
Right.
And I don't know how we managed it. Honestly, I don't. We've moved to bigger premises. It's about 4 times the size. I've actually got a desk on my own. I can do some work, and I'm like, how did we keep that going? We've done more in the last 2-3 months since moving there, and we did the whole year and a bit in the old place.
Yeah. It's fueled on passion, I'm sure.
It's very much passion, and it's cost me a few pounds to keep it going. But we've just finished our first financial year, and we don't owe anybody. There's nobody in the world we owe money to, which I'm quite proud of. I refuse to.
Good way of doing it.
Well, we could have done it into the bank and got loans of 20,000-30,000, bought all the fancy gear.
Investors coming in and
I'm looking at the walls here and thinking, wow, this would be great for our studio. It's a bit more open plan than this. And but you know what? I could, if I had to, I could shut the doors today and walk away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that, but
No.
I think that's why it's still going.
Yeah.
So It's very, very hard. I think I'm average about 20 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the studio for any between 12 and 16, and when I go home, computers on, people come alive at night. Music people do.
As is the case, yeah.
So I'll leave the studio any time between midnight and 3 in the morning, and still be up at 6 in the morning talking to people all over the world about music. It is wonderful.
Yeah, totally with you. Do you have so just kind of more details of what
Mm-hmm.
you do, what the kind of day-to-day things you have to go through? There's kind of two parts to this. Firstly, with your own radio show,
Mm-hmm.
setting up, organising for that, running that on the
Mm-hmm.
day, and secondly with the station as a whole. What do you do on a day-to-day basis for that?
Well, one of the things that suffered in the whole thing, I used to be on 5 days a week when I was doing it from home and Bonnet, and the whole thing was surrounded my show. So I was contacting people, I was putting together playlists, very right, that song's going to go with that song and blah blah. Okay. Since starting the station, my show then started getting shifted about. Not deliberately, just we can't fill that slot. See, I was doing 2 to 5 originally, and then it would be like, we can't get in to fill midday to 2.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, okay, it's my set, I'll move to that slot. And what happened in the first 6 months, I moved so often, I kind of lost my core audience, because they're still there, but they're like, we don't know when you're on.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to stabilise that now with the 6 to 8 slot that I do. And I'm slowly building an audience again. But I had whole streets in Australia listening to me. Mm-hmm. In America, I mean, just last night's show, I had people from Florida, New York, Indianapolis, Toronto, Texas, California, mm-hmm. all listening live, and it's such a kick. And that is now, I see that now building again, where it was maybe even 2 years ago, where I had this string of people around the world. It's one of those, pinch myself. There's someone in South Africa listening to me and liking it and talking to me, and that's the wonders of the internet. It's allowed someone like me to do with this. I mean, 10 years ago, even, forget it. You had to get into Clyde, West Sound, BBC, just forget it. Not saying that I'm ever going to get to these places, but it's allowed a freedom that probably my generation ever envisaged, because it was a never world. Pop stars and radio stars and stuff were, oh, they're up there.
You just look like there's no way of getting there.
There was no path no path at all to get there. Now, I had a filmmaker in last night. I don't think he's that well known outside the film circles. A guy called Bill Little, really lovely guy. He's been in Braveheart and all these kind of films, you know, Trainspotting. And at the end last night I was sitting, I would never met this guy. There's no way my sphere of influence would have met his in a million years, but he wanted to come to us. It's been marvellous. So part of my whole thing for my show is just networking, constantly networking, and I get artists all the time, just on my daily, sending me music, which gives me a real kick. I really enjoy. This is the first time this is played anywhere out with that band.
I can see it kind of goes back to your experience with the vinyl when you're little, kind of the discovery.
Oh,
of it,
see, I never did that link before. Yes.
Just kind of the new stuff. You think there's, I've not ever heard this before, and now it's kind of nobody else has ever heard this before. So I guess the same emotions are in play in both parts.
It's quite interesting, actually. Yeah, it's almost like having the band or the artists come into the studio and I interview them. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's back to the vinyl. I've got something I can see, interesting. It's and it's interactive, which thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yes, I think my show's suffered though. For running the station, my show's definitely suffered. Yeah. I don't have the time. Maybe before I would do a show on a Monday, and almost straight away I'd be like, what's tomorrow? No, do that. Yeah, I can do that in a couple of hours, and then I'd put out my pre-recorded stuff at 8 o'clock at night in the extra sessions. It was great, and again with the computers, you can do that. Just line it up, click. I can walk away.
There it goes.
I didn't have to sit there all the time. I wasn't sitting in front of the computer all day, every day. The other things to do. But running a station has been, it's been a joy, and it's been a nightmare as well. Yeah, so I'm starting to be better with my time, and I'm concentrating more on my show again, and I feel I'm enjoying it more than I was maybe for about 6 months. There's this period where it was just so much was happening. The station basically, how do I say this? Say it nicely. I always felt it was like trust issues. I don't know if anybody's experienced this. If you start a business, you feel you've got to be on top of everything.
Micromanage everything.
Micromanaging, yes. And I didn't know I was doing it till someone pointed out that I had to stop because I was killing myself.
It's always the case, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't witness what you're doing until you realise I'm either really tired or burnt out, or someone's told me that I need to get my finger out of where they're trying to do their work. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier about the baby. So in the early days, if anyone said anything bad, it'd been Facebook. I was on it. And a big explanation why I was doing something, and that was taking up so much time. And I think I kind of fell out with some people in the local scene because I think with hindsight I could have handled it better. I could have been more diplomatic and smooth, but I was in there. What are you saying? What are you saying? K-Radio's, we were not trying to do anything, blah, 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 blah. And I think they went, whoa. So about this time last year, I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. But I had one. The good friend in America I've talked to online for years, he bought me a couple of tickets, one ticket. And I went to America for 3 weeks. I just chilled.
Just get away.
Forgot about it. Left the station in charge of guys now become a good friend, Scott. At the time, he probably wasn't. Just someone that was there. And so I left it, and I went to America and thought, if I come back and it's still there, yeah, whatever. If it's not there, whatever. But I did a lot of thinking, just totally chilled, and came back and it was still there. And it took me a few months to get the foot back in the pedal because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be that overbearing person. So I let it kind of slide a wee bit. But the guys there, they kind of picked it up. Scott's definitely picked it up and started going with it and going with it. And then the place we were in, we were looking to expand in. It was a big building, empty. We'd this wee room. And we started looking into expanding. And it was starting to catch on again with me. And we'd done a survey and found there was asbestos in the ceiling tiles, which wouldn't really be a problem unless they were disturbed. Except a few weeks earlier there had been a burst pipe upstairs and the ceiling had come down. Not in our area, but next door. So we were looking to buy this, and the expert came along and he kind of, oh, right, so what happened here? A burst pipe a couple of weeks ago, and he started backing out. I'm out of here. I got a phone call later that day from our landlord, and he said, you have to be out, health and safety, you've got to vacate. So in 3 days we moved everything from our wee room. A phone call for a friend made, and we got the place we're in now. And now I can see the potential really kicking in. It's just growing. Like I said earlier, I don't know how we done any work, because you can imagine half this small room we're in, which is what, 12 foot by 8 foot, and at half that, and then when there's 2 people on the other side, there was no way of getting work done. So I was taking work home, and I think that added to the stress. And it wasn't the greatest, but you know what? It was fun. Apart from the stress I was putting on myself, it was fun to look back and some of the people it's been in. It's been cool. And now, wow. We have a drum kit. We have a pool table. When I was young, I always wanted a drum kit and I always wanted a pool table. Don't know why. Well, now I've got them.
Do you come through?
Yeah, just about.
I was wondering, kind of, obviously K-Radio relies on a lot of volunteer DJs and such. So, like, how does your relationship work to them? How do they contact you to ask for a slot?
People's asking all the time for slots. I reckon since October 2011 when we started, I haven't kept it's precise numbers in this, though I remember everyone.
Right.
I think we must be about 150 to 200 DJs have been through.
Right.
A lot of them have been students who came to us because they have to do a radio show for their course, which when we set up we knew there was going to be this turnover every year. That for some of them have stayed with us. One or two are like, I love this. What I do find is when people come to Garrido, they tend to not to leave. There's three of us that are me, Scott and Connor, and if we could have a bed and a shower, we would not go home, ever. It is the most wonderful just to be involved in the music industry. I'd like to think we're giving people a chance to step into the music industry. Yeah. And if somebody goes on and be the next Ali McRae or whatever, I love their picture on the wall when pointing to it. Look, they started here. Yeah. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
So you mentioned kind of the playlist process as well is kind of obviously personal with each DJ is different. Is there sort of a formal way? Do you have to ask for tracks, or do you just let them do what they want?
Well, what we've done for the beginning, and what I hope continues, is we leave the DJs much. If you came in and said, I want a show, I'll say, what kind of genre is it? And it doesn't matter. We've had industrial music. I don't know if you've heard that. It's very specialised, I would say.
Yeah, not very specific.
Yeah, very much. It does sound like a factory I used to work in, to be honest. For a while, somebody would enjoy that. We've got a young girl just now, Maggie. She's very much into what's in the charts, and that fits. You got a few shows like my own where it's people are just going out and searching for new music, and new music finds you. You don't have to search after a while. People know, you're in a show, here's my music, play my music. So getting content is actually the easiest part. Right. But I don't want it to ever be where, right, here's a playlist, you play that, you do that. What we'll do is say, hey, you heard this? Do you want to play this on your show? Some say yes, some don't. Especially the new stuff. Because it's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people like the familiarity of like the old classics. Well, I prefer to play Queen or whoever. But I don't want it to be a station where here's a set playlist and you will play this. Commercial reality maybe come into this, but we advertise we're 50% new music. Right. That means 50% can be non-new music. Yeah. So it's quite a wide field. I am finding more as we get advertisers wanting to advertise. They want to know what's the music. Is people going to listen? And it's a hard sell. Well, my show, I'm going to be playing Sonic Temple or Sean Kennedy, and they're like, who? I don't know. But I've kind of come over, personally, I've overcame that, and people will say, no, I want to be on your show, because I don't know, just the networking and stuff.
It seems to be kind of different reasons behind it, like a lot of, obviously traditional radio stations, either be it local or national radio stations, obviously have large playlist committees, and they put it all together because it's proven track record of chart music gets the most number of people listening, whatever, if people even do indeed listen for music on those stations. But when you kind of remove that, when you take the chart, when you take the predictable kind of approach out of it, they have to look for something else. So they look for the DJ, they probably look for audience figures, etc. But just
right. I've actually been in a few meetings this week about this. As we get bigger and as we get more well known, there is more focus now on how many people are listening. How can we sell that to this person? Right. This is where the artistic, and this is life, I suppose. The artist who will just do what they want because it's what they feel, and how do we pay for it? And I've got to somehow marry the two up. I don't want it to become a commercial station. I don't want it to be playing. I'll not mention any artist in particular, but who's at number 2 at the moment. If you and your show want to play that, go ahead. But I'd rather just grow the radio station where people go, right, they are on the button, they're playing what's what is coming through, what's
Right.
going to be tomorrow's number two, number one. That's a hard gig though, to sell that to other people.
Well, there's no rules. There's no hard and fast rules to say this is how you do it.
In business though, they like you say, they want to. Oh right.
Yeah, they want proof.
Yeah, if you're up against the local radio stations who are churning out same 23 songs every day, and they're getting 20,000 people a day listening in, it's hard for me to justify to having a business that, okay, we've maybe only got 10% of that listening a day. And they're like, well, why don't? So we've got to offer a package. Well, it's obviously cheaper to advertise with us.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, well, not so many people are hearing it. But I'm hoping that K Radio is getting a reputation out there for what's the word I'm looking for? It's got integrity.
Yeah.
And that takes a long time to build.
No,
You don't get that off. You don't just start on tomorrow. Oh, you're very good. When we're there 3, 4, 5 years, still keeping true to the initial aims, I think I'm hoping's the word probably, that businesses will be coming to us and saying, I'm actually seeing that now. Oh, right. I think a lot of businesses the first year said, are you going to still be there at Christmas?
Yeah.
Now we've done 2 Christmases now. Are you going to be there after the first year? Well, we're over our first year. So what's the next? Is it 18 months? Is it 2 years? And people are starting to, oh, you're still there. And what we're trying to do is just, if you go to a gig, you see K Radio.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a matter of we're taking over or anything. It's just letting people know there's something else out there, rather than this manufactured.
Yeah. No.
I don't know the word I was going. It's probably going to swear there, but actually, it annoys me. Actually, I do now dip into the charts every so often and go, wow, no. It annoys me. It really does. Especially when there's better artists out there that get no recognition.
Yeah.
One of the things in my business plan for K Radio was we'll start this in Kilmarnock, and it maybe inspire somebody to do it in here, in Motherwell, and do it in well, not so much the cities because they're kind of covered by stations, but there's about 23, I think it is, towns in Scotland who have got population over 30,000, and then it's about 60,000 in the catchment area. I thought, imagine, not K Radio, not ours, but a K Radio in all these towns, and they've all got a thriving music scene. Inverness, Motherwell, you know.
Although after that stage,
You imagine the
feed off each
underground
other, yeah.
swell. It would, and it's happening. It is happening.
Yeah.
I see Kingdom FM had 15 minutes a week dedicated to new music, and the DJ had to kind of quickly just wee snippets and get over to this gig, and well, it went to an hour.
Yeah.
Now the people doing that have now moved to another station where they get 2 hours a week to just play new music, and don't want to be what it was all our doing. But I'd like to think we're helping push.
No, certainly part of it.
We're a small part of a bigger push. Excuse me. I feel it's like punk. It's punk coming through. The real punk just happened. It happened in the young people, and it pushed through. And it got to a stage where the big companies couldn't ignore it. So then they took it and basically watered it down and dismantled it. But that led to the new wave movement, where a lot of great artists come through in the 80s.
For sure.
And probably inspired people at Oasis. Yeah.
You obviously mentioned like keeping your integrity and stuff like that. I guess you said you don't owe anybody any money, which is obviously a very beneficial position.
Not through K Radio. You just said that and somebody's listening. You owe me. No. Through K Radio.
No,
The business doesn't.
Yeah,
We don't have loans out with anyone, and it's
Right,
made it hard. It would have been so much easier. We'd have probably been further down the line with better equipment and stuff. We've moved into the new place, and we have to find the money to build a soundproof booth. At the moment it's all open. I know some DJs actually love that. They love this interaction with everyone in the room. Other people get put off. So our next aim is to raise the funds to build a soundproof room. It's definitely been harder, but I think when we look back, someday we'll go, wow, what a ride.
Well, you look at how traditional startups begin, and they normally begin by taking on a couple 100,000 worth of debt as first step, and you think that would scare me. I'm sure it scares you.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you've obviously taken the harder road.
It's a very, very hard road, but I think if I'd started this when I was like early 20s, I'd have been at the bank. Give me money. Yeah, we're going to do this. And then, but 30 years later, I'll still be paying it off.
A lot of patience involved.
Yes, it's something I've not ever really had, to be honest. Patience. I'm very impatient. I want to be there tomorrow. And it is frustrating because I can see where the radios can go. Yeah. Again, this is back to my upbringing, don't boast. But I want K Radio to be more than a radio. Yeah. We're actually now talking about doing some TV, if you like. Probably start on YouTube and stuff. I want it to be the biggest media company in Scotland, and I'm not going to put a figure on it. I want it to be the biggest media company. I want to influence. This is very against the grain for me. I want it to influence in a good way. The music scene in Scotland, because we've got a vibrant one. I was watching Rap Hour last night in BBC Alba, and most of the bands on it, I'm like, yeah, I've played them. Yeah. Brown Bear and Anna Sweeney are on it next week. Yeah. As far as I know, I gave all those people their first airplay anywhere. Nice. And that gives me more of a kick in, and it's not, oh, look at me, I'm so good. I'm just sitting going, wow, yeah. And I see them now on TV. Yeah. And the next step for them will be on the mainstream. And if I never get a penny out of this whole thing, when I'm in my dotage and sitting in some nursing home, I'll be like, and Brown Bear or Anna Sweeney or whoever are the biggest stars on the planet.
Big stadium tours and
big stadium tours. I'd be like, I knew them before they were. It sounds a bit flippant, but no, I get a kick. If somebody sends me an album, here's a band, Worse Than Mo, here's a new EP, and I made him the artist of the day, and I do that a lot. I was buzzing playing it. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, they just released it today, and I'm playing it. And they're on there, go, oh, this is great, and the whole feel good factor, and it's great stuff as well. It's not just I'm playing somebody because I can. It's because it's good.
Yeah. When you think about all the stages involved in in taking it even from the band recording and such, obviously technology advancing has allowed you to every stage of it to expand and get bigger and more professional and etc. And it's, it's a wonderful thing. I hope it continues. You obviously mentioned where you'd like to take K Radio in the future, so that's no lack of ambition on your part. I'm very excited to see.
Yes, if hard work and long hours mean success, then we'll get there. But there's no guarantee. Like, it's back to that thing. I have a vision. When I first done the business plan, I thought this could work because of the numbers involved in advertising. Very cheap advertising per advert. It hasn't materialised, so that's why but 2 years ago, sitting here, I'm going to make millions because it worked. I had 576 ad slots a day to fill, and if I filled them all with even like £10 an advert, it worked out at 2.2 million turnover. This is easy. No, it's not. Business people tend to be a bit older, so they were like, internet? What's that about? Who's listening to that? They don't get it. 2, who are you? What are you playing? So I've had to have a reality check and realise it's going to take me a bit longer than 3 months to make my 2 million.
No, for sure. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. So.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice song. Yeah, that's 2 things you've done for me today. Dreams big enough they don't scare you. God, they scare me.
You give us some time, and we'll give you some stuff back.
They also scare the hell that I don't know if I can do this. Every day I'm like.
Oh, every day you prove you can do it, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that. What we have done, we've diversified. We've had to think outside the box because the businesses aren't flocking to my door. Yeah. it's hard work. I'm not a salesperson. I'm an ideas person.
Yeah.
And some people go, oh, you could. I enthuse people about K Radio.
Yeah.
But see, if I was to put a contract on the table, that's when people go. Don't know. Let me think about it. So that's where a salesperson is needed, I think. We've thought of the box. Now we think, myself and Scott especially, we've been between us about 26 years experience in the music industry.
Yeah.
And we thought, why don't we use that to fund K Radio? So we're in the process. A week on Saturday we'll be taking over the entertainment of a venue in Ayr. Used to be Firehouse.
Right, yeah.
We've invited some girl at Crumbs, where she'd done music and I had provided PA for her. She contacted me and said, look, I want to move my cafe there. It's going to be licensed. I've no clue about entertainment. So we thought about it, and K Radio, we're going to be providing entertainment there 6 nights a week. Well, 7 nights a week. But we're talking about taking Monday off. And still run the radio station for Kilmarnock.
Well, you don't go back to your breakdown again with working too hard, so.
Yeah, I'm always feeling the verge of breakdown. You see these shadows? Last night, coming here today, this is very early in the day for me. Very early. I usually get to sleep about 6 in the morning and sleep to about midday. And that's if I'm lucky. Sometimes it's about 4 hours.
Thanks for making an exception.
No, thanks for asking.
Okay, so we'll kind of wrap things up with the quicker questions I mentioned at the start.
Yeah,
Some of
no
these
problem.
are slightly abstract, but just bear with me.
Okay.
And just say whatever comes into your head. Might not be true in
Yeah,
about
I
5
don't think you
minutes'
want to
time.
hear what's in my head.
Okay, well, moderate yourself slightly, perhaps.
Okay.
But, so your favourite word,
Tomorrow.
least favourite word,
Failure.
favourite sound.
Music.
There you go. Least favourite sound.
Moaning. People moaning.
And what profession, other than the one you currently hold a position in, would you like to attempt?
Oh, I always wanted to be in music. Always wanted to be a singer in a band. I am. Hey!
You'd say none.
Yeah, Queen of the World, I don't know.
It's not a bad one, I guess. What profession, other than the one you currently hold, would you not like to attempt?
Hey, anything to do with bodily fluids.
We'll leave it at that. What's your favourite listening medium? Obviously, you mentioned your history with listening to vinyl a lot, so I guess you'd still go back to that.
I would say radio.
Radio.
I grew up with radio. Radio was always on in the house, and I grew up with wonderful music from there. Yeah.
Okay. Your favourite listening environment? Like, where would you most often listen to it? Obviously, you're on the radio a lot, so I guess.
Right, well, because you're involved in radio, it's kind of artificial. Where I like to enjoy it, lying on my couch at 2 in the morning, the lights down, and listen to some blues. I know it's meant to be one word, but I don't do one words.
No, that's not maybe. It's fine, it's fine. The questions that people often struggle with, a favourite artist?
Favourite artist?
As I said, it can change in 5 minutes, but whatever you're thinking right now.
Ramisco Maki Maki Rocking Horse at the moment.
Right.
You're like, who?
I am like you.
Watch your pal, he's going to be on it.
I will watch. Your favourite album?
Of all time?
Of all time.
Joshua Tree, you too.
Pretty good go in there. Favourite song?
If you'd asked me this question 10 years ago, I'd probably told you one. Now, so many. God Bless the Child, Billie Holiday.
There we go. Again, pleasure. Thank you for thank you for coming and speaking to us.
Thank you.
All the best for the future and for K Radio.
Thanks very much.
And hopefully see what you're doing in the near future. See the expansion and hope it keeps growing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.